Birth Breath. I'm a birth keeper, truth seeker, and yoga guide. And today's class is about change. So just start by taking a deep breath in. So the breath is the only thing in our lives and in our bodies that is really consistent. The more things stay the same, the more things are likely to change. Who you were last year is different from the person that you are now. What your thoughts were last year are different than what you thought now. So really, it's how you embrace the changes in your life. Are you passing judgment on them? Are you embracing them? Are you resisting them? How is it that change is impacting your life? And what is your response to that change? So you can just think about that as you move through your practice today. So for now, just come into Shavasana. So just lay on your back. Bring your feet mat width apart, your hands fall open at the sides, and just start to ground yourself into your floor, into the earth, and let your body relax and let go. Notice this change of position and the different effect it has on your body. Notice how your breath feels in this position compared to upright. And start to deepen and lengthen your breaths here. Really opening the chest, opening the belly, expanding through the ribs on the inhale, and then exhaling, letting it all go. Just notice how deep you can make your breath. Ready, you can bring your palms face down on the mat just next to your pelvis. Bend your knees and bring your feet onto the floor just in front of your sits bones. And take an inhale here. Notice where the breath is moving as you take the inhale. In this position compared to the last. You can start to draw the pubic bone towards the sternum, or the center of the chest, on your inhale. Gently lift the pelvis up, one vertebrae at a time as you come up, still inhaling. And then exhale, come back down, and just let the vertebrae unwind one step at a time. This time, press your sacrum into the mat, inhaling here. Lifting the spine off the floor, just bringing weight into the shoulders and into the sacrum, arching the back, kind of like a cow pose. And then exhaling, bringing the back to the floor, relaxing the spine. When you're ready for that inhale, drawing the pubic bone towards the sternum, lifting the tail off the floor, pelvis lifts up. And then exhaling, coming back down. Just following these gentle movements as you breathe. So inhaling again, lifting the spine off the mat. Just go at your own pace though. Arching the back, opening up the belly. Exhaling, bringing the spine back onto the floor, resting it on the earth. Inhaling, drawing the pubic bone towards the sternum, lifting the pelvis up, bringing the weight into the shoulders, relaxing the head and neck, squeezing the thighs towards one another, and then exhaling, coming back down. Just do this one more time, full way through. So inhaling at your own pace. This will be our last cycle. So inhaling, lifting up again. Engaging the glutes. Exhaling, coming back down. And just notice the subtle changes within the body as you move between the inhales and the exhales. When you're finished that cycle, the last cycle, just hug your knees into your chest, flex your feet. Again, if you have knee injuries, you can bring the hands behind the calves. And just hug the knees in. Just massage the entire spine. So working between lengthening the spine, drawing the sacrum to the floor, and then just rounding the spine, curling up into a little ball. Just playing with the spine here, just really massaging it and working with the length and the shrinkage or compression. And you can do some gentle circles on the sacrum, just massage on the back of the sacrum. Notice any points of tension here. And when you're ready, make sure your eyes are opened. And just start to move back and forth. And just rocking yourself back and forth. If you don't want to come into a seated position this way, feel free to use your side body. So come onto your side and press yourself up. Otherwise, just start to bring movement into your body as you rock back and forth. And it's your choice if you want to use the momentum of the legs or if you'd like to use the momentum and strength of the core. But come upright either way. Notice how they both feel different in the body. Come into a seated posture and just sit tall for a moment. Finding the center of your body, of your breath. Take an inhale. Lift your chest forward, pull the shoulder blades back, and start to come over to your right side as you move backwards round the spine and come to your left side, starting to lift the chest and open the front of the body up. So as you go towards the back of your mat, just really rounding the spine and closing the chest inwards. And as you come towards the front of your mat, opening the chest and throat up, drawing the shoulder blades back. So really exploring the movement of the spine from the seated posture. Just making gentle circles in this one direction. When you come back to the front of the mat, switch directions this time. Again, rounding at the back, opening at the front, and just gently moving and noticing any points of tension, any points where your body's resisting the change in the movements. Perhaps you've noticed a difference in the flexibility from where you started on this journey in your yoga practice. Perhaps you've noticed a difference in your strength. And come back to center. Just rest for a moment. Take an inhale. Bring your right hand to your left knee. Lift your spine, lift your chest. And you can gently twist from the abdomen, the ribs, and the shoulder. Take an inhale. Reach that left arm up. And then exhale, lean over. You're stretching out the left side of the body here. So really working to keep that left shoulder blade coming to the back of the body and right ribs coming to the front. Opening up the side body here. Notice the quality of your breath in this posture. Inhale, come back up. Come to center, exhale. Just bring your left hand to your right knee and start to twist again from the belly, then the ribs, and then the head and neck. Sitting tall, lifting the chest. Find the twist and the length of the spine. And then take an inhale, lift that right arm up. And when you're ready, just gently lean over, opening up the side body on this side of your body. Notice the difference in the quality of your breath in the posture compared to being upright. So you're able to create more space in the ribs, in the side that's being compressed slightly. So extending and lengthening the spine in spite of the side lean. Take an inhale. Exhale, come back up. And just bring your knees towards one another. Come onto your hands and knees. So just curl your toes under, and you can, if you're able to, you can walk yourself back so that you're sitting on the heels. If this is too intense, again, please use a block or a bolster. You can go to whichever height you need for support if you want the support. If you don't want the support, then just come to wherever it is that's comfortable for you. We'll just do some wrist exercises while we do our toe torture. So you can bring your hands onto the floor here. Again, make sure your spine is lengthened. And just start by moving one hand at a time from the front, so the fingers point forward, towards the knees, towards the back of the mat. Make sure you have a micro bend in this elbow always as you're going through these. And you can switch hands and do the other side. You can make this a static stretch if you'd like, or you can continue to move it. And you can move both hands at the same time, or you can take turns, whichever feels best in your body. So if you'd like to just do one hand and wait with the other, that's totally acceptable. Just notice what feels comfortable in the body. And then you can come onto the backs of the hands. So you just round the wrists inwards, so stretching out the forearms this time. And you can again just do one hand at a time, and it's up to you how much weight you put onto your hand. So if you'd like a deeper stretch, then add a little bit more weight. If you'd like to have more stretch in the toes, then bring more weight into your back body. But wherever you're at. And then just turn the hands. You can move them between the fingertips facing the front of the mat and the fingertips facing the back of the mat. So really opening up the forearms with this stretch. And the bend in the elbow also helps decide how significant that stretch is in the backs of the wrist. When you're ready, you can come back upright and just do some circles with your wrist, one way and then the other. If your toes are starting to fatigue, you can straighten them and come onto the heels that way, or you can smack the feet onto the floor just to bring blood circulation back. And then just switch directions with the wrists. Now you can bring your right foot onto the mat and just bring your left foot so it's resting gently on it. And again, just bring some pressure into it by sitting down onto it if you're able to. Otherwise, just find a way to make it less intense for yourself. So this is stimulating one of the main meridians in the body by having that foot crossed over. And just adjust yourself if it's really uncomfortable for you. And you can just move the hands, waking the wrists up here, moving them some more. Shake them forward and back, side to side. Come onto your hands one more time, switch the feet around. So this time your right foot is on top. And one more time, just doing some gentle circles. And then faster circles, switching directions. And then shaking forward or back, shaking side to side. And just moving your arms however you need to, moving your wrists however you need to, whichever feels good. As you stretch out the toes. And take a breath here. Just a deep breath. So your arms, forearms, and wrists should feel nice and warm now. And you can come onto your hands and knees. Just bring your knees in line with your hips and your wrists in line with your shoulders. Again, if you do have wrist injuries, come onto your fists and just start to open the chest, roll the shoulder blades back, lift your tail up, drawing the belly towards the floor here. And then exhaling, tucking the tail under. And just following your breath as you move between Majrayasana and Bitilasana. Notice the opening and expanding of the abdomen when the chest lifts forward, and the contraction in the rounding of the spine. Notice the opening in the back body as you round the spine. So basically you're opening up the front body in the cow pose, and in the cat pose you're opening up the back of the body. And you're following the speed of your breath as you're doing this. And come back to neutral. Bring your hands onto the mat, just slightly in front of you. Tuck your toes under. Then you can start to lift your tail up, pressing into the hands. You
can draw your knees towards the floor so they just hover, and then lift the tail up as you draw your heels to the ground. For Adho Mukha Svanasana, or downward facing dog, and just breathe here. You can bend your knees, stretching out the calves. Noticing the different sensations as you gently work between the bent knee and the straightened knee. And then take an inhale and start to come forward. You can come onto your knees and just lower yourself down, keeping the elbows close to the body as you do so. And then just bring your forearms in front of you, so that your elbows are in line with your shoulders. And just lift the chest here. Press the tops of the feet into the mat so that the knees lift for Sphinx pose. And just breathe. So opening the chest, drawing the shoulder blades towards one another. Again, keeping the feet pressing into the mats, but the knees stay lifted and the legs are engaged. And then you can exhale, just rest for a moment. Bring your hands just so they're more in line with the ribs this time. Roll the shoulders up and back the spine. And then keep the pelvis on the floor and lift the chest. This is Cobra. So Cobra, you keep your pelvis on the floor and your thighs partially as well. Again, the feet are engaged though, so the knees aren't touching. And the legs are strong. So really opening the back body, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And exhale, coming back down. And if you're like me and you've shifted your weight, take an inhale. Roll the shoulder blades up, back and down the spine. Lift your chest, press into the hands, and you can lift the entire pelvis off the floor this time. So this is Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, so upward facing dog. And you can see the difference between this posture and the Cobra posture is that the only things on the floor are your hands and feet. Your shoulder blades are still working towards one another. Your chest is lifting. This full back bend here. Opening the back body. Exhale, coming back down. Curl your toes under. And you can come back into tabletop just to ease yourself into downward facing dog again. And just adjust your hands or feet how you need. And continue to breathe. Again, downward facing dog is the resting posture. Enjoy your rest for a few breaths. And you can bring your knees back onto the mat. Draw yourself back down, keeping the elbows close to the body as you do so. Bring your forehead to the mat. Bring your palms onto the mat next to you. And you can press the palms into the mat. And then lift your right foot off the mat. Engage in the glute here. Exhale, bring it back down. Inhale, lifting that left glute, lifting that left foot off the mat. Engage in the glutes, so the whole leg is off the mat, just resting on the pelvis. And then exhale, bring it down. Do one more time each side, so inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, coming back down. And keeping the leg off the mat as you're doing this. And use your hands to brace yourself. And then you can lift both legs off the mat. So you're just bringing the weight onto the pelvis or the pubis symphysis. Keep your hands here for balance and stability. You can bend the elbows. And just continue to squeeze the legs together as you draw the heels towards the ceiling, engaging the glutes here. And breathing. Continue lifting the feet and legs higher. Exhale, draw them down. And this time we'll just start with the chest. Take an inhale. Roll the shoulder blades towards one another. And then lift the head off the floor. Just gently, you can bring the weight into the hands slightly. Press into the tops of the feet. Again, the knees will lift off the mat as you press into the mat, into the feet. And then exhale, coming back down. This time, roll the shoulder blades back. Come up a little bit higher if you're able. Really squeeze the shoulder blades together, opening the front of the chest. Bringing the weight into the belly, the lower belly, and the pubis symphysis again. And then exhale, coming down. Taking an inhale. And this time, lift the chest and the legs simultaneously. So take an inhale here. Exhale, roll your shoulder blades back, lift the feet off the ground and the legs. And you can keep the hands for now. Just gently moving through each posture of these back bends. Then exhale, come back down. If you'd like me to get a foot cramp, just bend it the opposite direction. And this time bring your hands out in front of you. Take an inhale. On your exhale, lift the chest, lift the head, lift the legs. Everything's off the floor except for the pelvis and the body. Then you can reach the arms forward, you can engage the fists, but just keep lifting the legs higher. So the right leg up, the left leg up, right arm up, right, left leg, left arm up. And breathing. See if you can smile as you do this. It changes the quality of the posture. And then exhale, come back down. When you're ready, bend your knees. There's a few options here. If you're not able to reach your legs with your hands, you can use a strap. Just wrap it around your ankles and then pull with the strap so that your chest comes off the floor this way. Or if you are able to reach your legs and feet, you'll be holding on to the ankles with the hands. Take an inhale, and then exhale, lift the legs off the floor, lift the chest off the floor for Dhanurasana. Just continue to open the chest, open the fronts of the thighs, engaging the back body, and breathing. Draw the feet away from the body so you get a deeper lift in the back, in the front body. Squeezing the knees towards one another, engaging the glutes. Exhale, coming back down onto the floor. Release the posture. You can just bring your left cheek onto the floor. Allow your body to relax and open, become heavy for a moment. Slowing down the breath. Take an inhale. Exhale, switch cheeks. So you're looking the opposite direction now. And take an inhale. Bring your hands so they're in line with your ribs. Curl the toes under. You press into the hands and come onto the knees. And then flatten the feet. Come into your child's pose. Take an inhale. Lift, come back into tabletop, curl your toes under, into downward facing dog one more time. And then plug your right leg into your right hip socket, step forward. Plug your left leg into your left hip socket, step forward. Coming to the front of your mat. Take an inhale, lift your chest, lengthen your spine, so the spine is one long line. And the head and neck are an extension of the spine. Again, squeezing those shoulder blades towards one another. And exhale, take a forward fold. So the forward fold is basically the exact opposite of what we've just been doing, so just stay here for a moment. Take an inhale and start to roll yourself up gently, one vertebrae at a time. You can reach the arms up. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Breathing here. Take an inhale. Step back with your left leg. So just come so that the ball of the foot is resting on the mat. And you can bend that right knee so it's directly above the right ankle. Breathing here. Engage your core, inhale. Lift the arms up. And just breathe here for Anjaneyasana. Really squeeze the thighs towards one another, drawing the energy towards the center of the body. And breathing here. Take an inhale. Exhale, reach forward with the torso, keeping your spine long, and then draw the palms face up towards the back of the room. So again, opening and lifting the chest here. So always working to draw that back of the thigh towards the ceiling. And bring your hands onto the mat. Bring that Left knee down, walk your right foot towards the corner of the mat so the toes are pointing towards the corner. And bring your left hand onto the mat. And you can start to twist her. So you can stay in this position. You can lift the arm up if you'd like, keeping the shoulders stacked on one another. Or you can draw the left knee towards your glutes and open the chest this way. So just a gentle twist. Again, you're drawing that right shoulder blade towards the back of the body. Breathe in here. Really getting a nice stretch in the front of that quad. And then exhaling, bring your hands back to the mat. You can draw that right leg back. Curl your toes under, back into downward facing dog. This time, bring your left foot forward between the hands, and then press into the feet. So keep that ball of the foot on the floor of the right foot, and then extend the torso up on an exhale. Come upright and engage your core. Again, keeping your ribs in line with the hips. For Anjaneyasana here, drawing your strength towards the center of your body. Deepening and slowing your breath. Opening up the back of the thigh on the extended leg. Keeping the knee above the ankle of the bent leg. Take an inhale here, and then exhale. Bring your hands, palms face up towards the ceiling, opening the chest, drawing the shoulder blades towards one another, and lengthening the spine as you draw the torso forward. Still squeezing to the center of the body. Exhale, bring your hands to the floor, draw that knee down to the floor. You can bring your right hand onto the mat, and again, same as you did last time. So bring your hand to the sacrum, and then press into the lower hand, opening the chest this way. Or you can open up the arm, keeping the shoulders stacked. Or bend that back knee and draw the heel towards your glute. Opening and stretching through the front of the thigh. Continue to draw that left shoulder blade towards the back body. That right rib towards the front. Really working to keep the shoulders on top of one another. Take an inhale. Exhale, release the leg. And bring your hands to the floor. Curl the toes under and step that front foot backwards into downward facing dog once again. And this time, take an inhale, shift your weight forward, and bring your feet forward. You can bend the knees as much as you need to here. Coming into a forward fold one more time. And then inhale in, reaching the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Come to the middle of your mat, and then bring your weight into that right foot. So spreading the foot wide, really anchoring here.
Finding the center of your foot. When you're ready, you can start to lift that left foot off the ground and draw the knee towards the glute. And catch it with your left hand, opening up the front of the thigh. Bring your right hand either onto your hip, or you can reach the arm up. And then flex your back foot. Find a nice spot on the floor to focus on. As you hinge at the pelvis, find a nice spot on the floor to focus on as you hinge from the pelvis, and really draw that left foot away from you. Finding balance here. Exhale, release the foot. And shake that foot out for a moment. This time, bring your weight into the left leg. Draw your right heel towards your glute. Catch it with your right hand. Always a micro bend in the elbows. Again, option to have your hand on the hip or extend the left arm up. Find your balance. When you're ready, take an exhale and hinge from the pelvis, drawing the torso towards the earth, finding a focal point as you gently move forward. Dancer pose. Take an exhale and come back to center. You can shake out that foot again. One more inhale. Reach the hands up. Exhale, forward folding deeply. Drawing the chest towards the thighs. And then spread the feet about mat width apart and start to sit down, drawing the glutes towards the floor as deeply as you can. If you're only here, that's fine. Flexibility and motion will come with time. And just open the chest, press the elbows into the insides of the thighs, lengthen your spine for Malasana, garland pose. Take an inhale, bring your hands to the floor, and just sit down onto the glutes. You can spread the glutes a little bit wider. Sit tall, bring the hands onto the floor next to the pelvis. Make sure that you're not leaning forward or back, but you have found that neutral pelvis here in the center. The feet flexed so that the legs come off the floor. Breathe. Take an inhale here. Reach the hands up. And exhale. Draw the chest towards your thighs. Paschimottanasana. And just notice where you are right now. Maybe your forward fold isn't as deep as you'd like it to be. We haven't done that much folding forward. We've done a lot of back body opening and strengthening.
Just notice where you are right now. Take an inhale, come back upright. And then you can spread your legs wide. Try to keep your toes so that they're above the ankles. So they're not folding outwards or leaning inwards, but they're right in line with the ankles. Lift your chest. And then again, you can just bring the forearm along the top of the shin, or you can bring it to the earth, whichever feels better in your body. Notice. And again, you can stay by the shin, you can reach for the ankle, or you can reach for the outside edge of the foot or the big toe. Wherever you're at is fine. Just notice where you are right now. And so sitting tall, lengthening as you lean over. Drawing that right shoulder blade towards the back body. You can stay here in the side lean. You can cradle the head and support the head and neck if you'd like. Or you can reach for that foot or toe in this posture. Rupavrita, Uttarishta, Konasana. And just breathe into the posture. So really opening up the side body now. Take an inhale. Lift that top arm up and lift your torso up. You can bring the arms wide, really opening the chest. And then start to lean over towards the right side this time. Really extending and opening here. Breathing. Take an inhale. Exhale, lift that arm up and come back upright. Lift your spine, roll your shoulders back, and start to hinge from the pelvis. And again, you have the option to bring the hands out in front of you or to continue to lower the chest towards the mat. Keep those toes above the ankles as you draw the chest towards the earth. So again, inhaling, lengthening the spine, and exhaling, allowing gravity to pull you forward. And just notice how you gradually deepen the posture, deepening the fold. Inhaling, lengthening the spine. Exhaling, folding forward. Maybe you're not as low as, say, I am or others are able to do. But notice the progress you've made from the time that you began this posture. How has you been able to deepen into the fold? When you're ready, take an inhale. And then exhale. Bring your hands to the floor and just gently lift your chest up. You can bring your feet out in front of you this time. So back into that same posture that we were in before. So this is Dandasana, staff pose. Again,
Keeping the toes drawing towards the shin so that the knees are slightly lifting. Again, your pelvis is neutral. Then you can plug the legs into your hip sockets, or you can bend the knees and bring your hands to the outsides of the feet as you walk the feet out and come into Paschimottanasana. So I like to walk my legs back and draw my chest forward here. And just notice this time how deep you have been able to come compared to the first time that you did this. So what is the change that has happened in this posture for you? So again, inhaling. And exhaling, drawing the chest closer towards the thighs. It's like you can allow the spine to round in here. And the head and neck just gently fold inwards. So still on the inhale, lengthening even though you're doing that fold. Again, just notice where you started from. Compared to where you are now. Notice this change in your body. And take an inhale, lift the head and neck. And then exhale, come all the way back up. Scoot your bum to the middle of your mat. And you can gently roll yourself down. Just breathe here in this different posture for a moment. I'm going to show you the modified versions of this posture first. Take an inhale. Draw the pubic bone towards the chest, and then lift the pelvis off of the floor so you can place your block or a bolster underneath the sacrum. Make sure you're not on the spine at all, but you're actually on the sacrum. And then you can bring your hands so that they're resting on the mat. Bend your knees and start to lift your feet up towards the ceiling. So we'll stay here for a moment. So this is the most modified version of this posture. We're not going to go into shoulder stand. Just keep the feet so that they're touching, so the knees are touching. Press the heels into the ceiling. So it is a very strong pose nonetheless. Make sure you're not down here, but you're directly in line with your hips. Breathing always. And then you can stay here. If you have any shoulder or neck injuries, please stay here. Do not force yourself to do anything further than this. If you would like to do something a little bit more intense, you can choose to bring another block on top. So again, bring your feet to the floor and then lift up. And that'll bring your weight into your shoulders more. You can stay here, or you can continue to add blocks as you desire. Or bring your hands to your waist, bend your knees, and then just gently start to lower your feet towards the back of the room. So you want the weight in your shoulders here,
And you can keep the hands on the hips or you can bring them onto the mat. But really feel the weight in your shoulders. So you should feel a massage in your shoulder blades as you're doing this. This is plow pose. And for some reason that Sanskrit term has escaped my mind. Take an inhale here. And you can widen the legs and just draw the knees towards the ears. So you're still rounding the spine, again making sure that the weight is actually on your shoulders and not on your neck. You should be able to move the neck gently. Don't look away from the side of the ground. You can bring your hands onto your hips here, just for additional support. And take an inhale. Bring your palms onto the floor and gently start to roll your spine down, one vertebrae at a time. So you're bringing more weight into the back body, keeping it rounded as you come down. If you need to take a break from the rounding, you have a choice here. You can either keep the legs straight and come down, which will engage the core, or just bend the knees, which will also engage the core, just not as deeply. And come back down to the earth. And just reach the arms behind you, stretching and reaching here. Exhale, draw your thighs towards your chest. Curl yourself up into a little ball. Exhale, reaching out one more time. Bring the palms next to your pelvis. Bring the feet in line with the sits bones. And you can lift the shins so that they're parallel with the ceiling. And then take your right leg and cross it over your left. And you can draw the foot behind the shin, or you can just keep it beside the shin, whichever works in your body. Draw your right arm underneath the left. And bring the elbows in line with the shoulders. This is Supta Ganadasana, supine eagle posture. So again, if you're not able to clasp the hands or reach for the hands, just hug your shoulder blades with your hands. Keep your knees above the hips, your elbows above the elbows as you're in this posture. Take an inhale. Exhale, release the arms, release the legs. Inhale, switch the legs around and switch the arms around. So this time you should have your right arm on top. We're really opening up the shoulder blades this time. We've been squeezing them together so much. Just gonna round them inwards. Take an inhale. And release the arms, release the legs. And exhale. Bring your legs up. Extend your arms wide. If you don't have the room, you can come into cactus pose with the arms. The elbows are in line with the shoulders, but bent 90 degrees. And then draw your hips towards the left side of the room. Then you can look over your right shoulder. Keep the shoulder blades on the floor. For the supine twist, Jatara Pavriti. And just breathe in here. Take an inhale. Exhale, bring the legs back up. And exhale, draw them over to the right side of the room. And look over your left shoulder. Keeping the shoulder blades on the floor. Not lifting anything up. Just massaging the internal organs in this posture. Just notice the change in your mental state and physical state now from the beginning of when you began your practice today. Take an inhale. Come back to center. And just take a moment to set yourself up for Shavasana here, however you would like to. We did do a lot of back opening, so it might be nice to really ground your spine into the earth. And draw your knees closer to your chest. And you can do this two ways. One by bringing your feet up the wall, so you get more of an engagement of the hip flexors. Or you can just do what I'm doing by bringing the bolster under my knees. Just come into your body, come onto your mat. Start to close your eyes, deepen your breath, and breathe. One of the difficult things about change is that it often throws us out of alignment. And in yoga, when you're particularly in the asana, you're always looking to align the body. So you're stacking the shoulders, you're bringing the elbows and the wrists in line with the shoulder, you're bringing your head and shoulders and ribs and hips and knees and ankles in line as much as possible with one another. You're always looking for these nice geometrical shapes. And the reason you do that in the body is so that the mind can become aligned as well. And essentially everything can become aligned. So your body fluids, your health, your mental health. This all prepares you for meditation. And change can often disrupt that alignment. If there's a significant change in our life, whether it's positive or negative, having a new baby is a big change. It's important to find alignment once that change has happened. It's the process of realigning ourselves when change happens that is sometimes a bit of a challenge. Which is why it's important to really stay centered with who you are and where your place of alignment is, so that regardless of what's happening or the changes that may come, you're always able to come back to that center. Maybe you can take some time to notice this week what your response is to change. Do you have an aversion to change or an acceptance of change? And if it's a positive change or if it's a negative change, is your response different? Is pain really positive or negative, or is it just our interpretation of it or our judgment that we pass on it? Allow your back body to be heavy on the mat. And relax the space between your eyes and your jaw. Relax the throat. And just take a moment to reflect on the changes that you are experiencing right now. Maybe it's right now in this moment, or maybe it's in your life. what changes in the quality of your breath as you rest here. As you lie here, just deepen your breath. Take an inhale. And just exhale slowly. Take another deep inhale. And exhale slowly. Start to deepen your breath here. And when you're ready, you can either stay in Shavasana if you need some more time here. But if you're ready, you can bring your head and rest it onto your arm. Come onto your side. Your top hand to press yourself into the floor and gently lift yourself up. Come into a comfortable seat, so sit on a bolster or a block. Let your knees are lower than your hips. You can kneel if that feels good to do so. Make sure you're warm enough here. Just come into alignment with your spine as you've changed positions. Bringing your focus back onto the breath. You can have your palms face down on the thighs, or you can have the backs of the hands on the thighs with the index and thumb touching one another. Bring your right hand up. Draw your middle finger and ring finger towards the thumb so that the index and pinky are free. Just take an inhale, pinch off the right nostril. Inhale through the left nostril. And pinch off the left nostril, exhale through the right nostril. Pinch off the right nostril, inhale through the left. through the right. Inhale through the left. And exhale through the right. This time, inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the right. And exhale through the left. This time, inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. We'll do one more cycle of Nadi Shodhana. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Do one more cycle at your own pace. When you're ready, bring your hand back down. And just take a few deep breaths here. Take a minute just to focus on the space behind the eyelids and quiet the mind. To your heart center. You can bow your head. When
all of the changes come, may you always find balance and realignment and grounding to your center and to yourself. From my heart to yours, thank you for sharing in this yoga practice with me today.